Well, hey there, folks. I'm meteorologist Matt Barentine. We're keeping an eye on the tropics. We've been keeping an eye on this area for a number of days now, and I know that very well could have seen posts on social media saying this was Helene 2.0. It is not. It is not Helene 2.0. All right. This is the danger when people go on there and they post those 10-day forecast models showing it making landfall here, making landfall there. You got to have a system even formed first, folks. And yeah, this one's struggling to say the least. It is not going to become Helene 2.0. It's going to become a rainmaker. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be rain out of this, mainly for the Florida Peninsula. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of the models, and I'm going to run them until next Monday. So I'm running about 5 days out. It's about the longest I feel comfortable running these models out. Once you get into 6-7 days, things start getting really squirrely. And when they become far less, well, you're just speculating at that point. And that's what, and that's what people do on Facebook. They'll post those things for clicks to get people engaged and, worked up. Not going to work you up here. We want to give you the information, let you know what's happening out there. So this is Monday, and you can see it's a very broad area of low pressure. There's nothing that's coming together into a full-blown tropical system. Now, there's a lot of rain out there. I mean, there's rain all across the Gulf. So it's going to be a big wet mess out there, but I'm not seeing a system really pulling together. And a lot of that rain will end up going over towards central Florida. Here is the GFS, the American model, and you're going to see basically the same thing. I'm going to roll it through until Monday, then stop it there. Once again, a very broad area of low pressure, not tight. It's not wrapping itself up and organizing. So it's just very dispersed across the Gulf. So just a lot of storminess across the Gulf. But you can see that the rain, most of that rain action staying south of us in the Gulf and raining over towards central Florida. So this is what it'll do. It'll be a rainmaker. There's going to be a lot of rain out over the Gulf, obviously. That's where most of it will be. But there will also be a lot of rain over parts of the Florida Peninsula. The Florida Peninsula will probably get a pretty good drenching. And some coastal areas near Tampa may get 6, 7, 8 inches of rain. Probably more of a widespread 3 to 4 inches across the peninsula. How about our area? Well, you can see in our area, it really depends on where you're at. We're going to have a front dropping down. I'm going to show you the future cast in a second on this. A front dropping to the south for tomorrow going into Friday. And that's where our rain is going to come from. Now, some of that moisture, it's going to get pulled in from the Gulf. I guess technically it's tropical moisture, but it's not from a tropical system. And we'll see some pretty decent rain south of I-10 and on our beach areas. May see as much of 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. Now, the rest of us inland won't see nearly as much rain. North of I-10 will probably be 1 inch or less. All right? So the heaviest rain will be down by, and you can really see looking at that map there, you can see the greens up in the northern part of our area, which are, 1/4 of an inch of rain, and then it keeps working its way to higher and higher amounts as you head down towards the beaches. So it really depends on where you're at, how much rain you end up getting. And once again, that's not really so much from a tropical system. That's just, the front pulling moisture off the Gulf and dumping it in our area. All right, so here's what we know. It'll struggle to develop. We're just looking at a 40% chance here still at this point. We'll enter Gulf very disorganized. And ultimately, it's just a rainmaker. Most of that rain will be for the Florida Peninsula. That's what we're looking at here with this system. There it goes. So the potential impacts is mainly going to be rain. Now, it doesn't mean we totally ignore it, obviously. Something could still try to, get going out there and amongst all that mess in the Gulf. But anything that does would likely still get pulled over towards central Florida, so it still becomes a Florida rainmaker one way or the other. That looks to be the case pretty much no matter what happens with this. So we'll keep an eye on it, but once again, and there's other stuff way out in the Atlantic. There's a Hurricane Kirk. There's a new tropical depression out there, but those are way out in the Atlantic, and they're going to stay in the Atlantic, so not going to waste much time with those. Back home, we are doing good, quiet conditions. There's the front I was talking about. You don't see any rain with it as of yet. It won't get any rain with it until it comes down our area tomorrow afternoon and starts pulling in some moisture from the Gulf. So that's when we'll start to see some rainfall. That's an interesting looking shot. That's down there at Mardi Gras Park. Apparently got some sort of thing going on. That's where the camera's pointed. Temperatures in the upper 80s this afternoon. Once we get to sunset tonight, temperatures dropping off into the lower 80s. So it's been a warm day, to say the least, hot day. Here's your future cast. So this will give us what we're looking at with this cool front coming in. So tomorrow morning, just clouds. By the afternoon, we'll start seeing a few showers. You can see that moisture getting pulled in from the Gulf. So it's Gulf moisture, but it's not really from a tropical system. You can see all that rain around Thursday evening. That's Thursday night, especially over towards Panama City. And then we continue on into Friday morning. Now, Friday morning is likely to be pretty wet across the area. Okay, that's when we're probably going to see our best chance of rain. I'm hopeful that most of this rain will move out before we get to Friday night lights in the evening, but it should be pretty wet Friday morning. So here's the forecast for tomorrow, your Thursday. You can see rain chances will stay low until the evening. Then we'll start seeing a better chance of rain. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow afternoon. The rip current risk is low for tomorrow, but it goes up to high over the weekend. That's just because we'll have a lot of disturbed weather out there in the Gulf. Not really a surprise there. Here's your long-range forecast, and you can see that we are going to be looking at, really good chances of rain Friday. Friday's going to be your best chance of rain. Now, you still see some rain chances Saturday and Sunday. So we'll have to keep an eye on to see a few of those showers kind of break away out there in the Gulf. The best chance of, if you're going to see rain over the weekend, the most likely area we're going to see it is going to be in our beaches and our coastal areas. The closer you are to the Gulf, the better chance you have of seeing some rain this weekend. The farther away you are, the lower your chances are. If you're up in Thomasville or Leakesville or something, you're probably not going to see any rain this weekend. Coastal areas, though, we'll likely see some showers. And looking ahead to next week, I think we get a decent, the front that's coming through tomorrow and Friday doesn't do much to our temperatures. It's a very weak front, very weak cool front. The one that's going to come early next week, you see on Tuesday, you can see those highs are only in the 80s, low 80s, and sunshine there. And you can see our lows dropping off in the mid to low 60s by Wednesday. So a little bit better of a front comes through then. Still not going to really knock our temperatures back way down. So it doesn't look like we're going to, at least as of yet, we're not going to be seeing a big blast of fall coming in. It's more like we're just gradually stepping down to some cooler temperatures over time. So we'll see how it all works out. That's your 7-day forecast. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 10. We'll be on at Fox 10 at 3, 4, and 5 this afternoon.